All right, guys, how's it going? Before I get into this video, there will be live streams on here today at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock UK time if you want to come along for a natter about all things LFC. Don't forget, my morning briefing will be coming up very soon on my other YouTube channel, Duncan Oldham. The link is in the video description of this video, and the logo will pop up on the screen at the end. All right, over there, I talk about the plans for the day, the live streams, the schedule, the acknowledgements, Liverpool stuff, cop talk stuff, everything. All right. So if you like this channel, you might like it over there as well. All right. So today in AS, I prefer to call it AS. I don't think you'll be able to see it on your screen. I don't know. But this is basically about FSG, Fenway Sports Group. And what it says here is Liverpool owners on the prowl, right? I'm not going to read the article to you. I'm just going to give you like a summary of what's being said over here at the moment. So obviously FSG, they got Michael Edwards in to find another club, didn't they? The multi-club thing and all that. And that you've seen various links. You've seen FSG linked with French clubs, Spanish clubs. And there seems to be an emphasis on Spanish clubs at the moment. And this is what this article's about. You may have seen, various takes on it already, but I like to see what's been said in Spain as well, right? Because after all, it's regarding Spanish clubs. I think their journalists are going to know more about what's happening over here, right? So basically, there was an email I read out on here the other day, a couple of days ago, in my The Mail Stand feature, which was touching on FSG's apparent interest in Valencia. They have been mentioned with Valencia before. The author of that particular email that I read to you seems to think that FSG have a strong interest in Valencia. I'm not so sure about that, to be honest with you. Maybe previously when they were struggling, FSG like a club in crisis, as we know. But the Valencia one, I'm not so sure about it. So what I'm going to do is just give you a list of the clubs that FSG have, are linked with, have previously been linked with, or whatever. So I do have a table on my phone. I wonder if I can do this. Look, I'm a granddad, right? So here we go. Right, this is my table that I've got for you here. So you will have heard about Getafe recently. That was the most recent club that FSG have been linked with. The problem there is, and it's defined as the most likely target for them at the moment, but from what I understand, the president of Getafe doesn't want to sell the club for another 2 years. So that would have to be a staggered investment maybe. But he also said that he will not sell to an investment fund because he gives a shit about the club, right? But Getafe is the one that's getting the most traction at the moment with FSG. There's been reports of a pre-agreement priced around £200 million sterling, 235 million euros. But there's concerns over the cost. Apparently the owners, FSG, are a bit hesitant about the money that could be required to purchase this. And there's even suggestions, and I'm not sure I would believe this, that what FSG may have to spend to get involved in one of these clubs could affect what they do at Liverpool. Now that's usually what you hear from FSG out peoples. Nothing wrong if you're FSG out, right? At least you don't flip-flop. You know what I'm saying? But usually people that are anti-FSG will say, oh, they've spent this at the Red Sox, or if they buy another club, it's going to affect Liverpool's transfer budget. That's actually been claimed over here. I'm not sure whether I would believe too much about that. But anyway, Getafe, that's the one that FSG have been linked with the most. That's the most recent reports. Levante, another club, they're described as a backup option if Getafe fails. And it's deemed as possible, right? Very possible. No, I don't want to read that. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't say very possible. It says possible. Less expensive and more accessible than Getafe. Elche, this is a club very local to me. I would love it if they bought that club, right? Because it would be on the doorstep for me and for me to be able to convey things that are happening here, right? Next season, I'm getting a season ticket at Elche, right? Not because I'm going to support them. I support my local team here. But me and a few of the lads, we said we'll get a season ticket at Elche next season because they've just been promoted to La Liga, right? So you can pick up a season ticket for €150 and that's going to give you access to all the home games in the league, right? So therefore, when Real Madrid come, I can see Trent. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, you could pop along, if the local team's not playing. Because a ticket to those games individually is around 150 anyway. It's going to cost you that. So we just think it'd be good to have access to one. So Elche, that would be so good for us, guys. Honestly, I really do think so. Again, it's just considered as a potential alternative, deemed possible, mid-level interest from FSG, and not much resistance expected in terms of a sale. Espanyol, one of the options under review, deemed as possible. A club with strong infrastructure would require negotiation. Valladolid, on the wider shortlist, the status there, the possibility, the chances of it defined as unclear. There's no detailed information on progress or the interest level, just that there has been some sniffing. Hooray. Malaga, interest dropped apparently, ruled out, ownership issues with Qatari owners. Did I say Qatari owners? Bob! Qatari owners would complicate any purchase. So Malaga, boom. Valencia, no verified contact or negotiation. It's deemed as unlikely. Nothing concrete reported, just speculation from observers. And I think, the Valencia one, I read that email out to you. If you go back a couple of days, it's titled, it's the mail stand feature where I read my emails to you, but it's not, if I read an email to you, it doesn't mean I support it or disagree with it. I'm just telling you what people are saying in the background. So those are the clubs that FSG are currently being linked with. And the question might be, why are they doing it? Well, simple. It's about networking, scouting, development, and of course, revenue. And it also helps FSG gain influence in other leagues. Think about a City group, own Man City and also Girona in Spain. Similar idea. They're all at it, to be honest with you. Could it benefit Liverpool? Possibly. Talent sharing, player loans, strategic development. But it also raises questions. Are FSG focused enough on Liverpool? If they buy a Spanish club, you can bet there'll be more eyes on how they spend their money. So there's the clubs. I'll just read them to you one more time. Liverpool owners on the prowl. Getafe, Levante, Elche, Espanyol, Valladolid, Malaga and Valencia. Just some, I won't say just some. They're all the clubs that have been mentioned with them, to be honest with you. So there is a very strong interest in Spanish clubs at the moment. Not sure why that is, guys. I'm not an expert, me. Oh no, I'm not an expert. Not when it comes to that. I don't know what the thinking is there with the Spanish clubs. To be honest with you, maybe some of you guys have got some suggestions on that. Rich T, my good friend Rich, he might have a comment. Look for Rich T in the comment section. What I will say is my local club, CF Benidorm, my friend owned that football club, and he recently sold it to David Villa. Do you remember David Villa? And David Villa, with Arab investment, own that club, and they have huge plans for that club. And that club is going to be very successful, in my opinion. I'm just about to renew my season ticket for there, €50 for the season, by the way. So we had some great away days last year. We did suffer relegation as a result of one goal. We got promoted the season before. We were champions, but went straight back down because of one lousy goal. Gutted. But at every game we lost towards the end of last season, my friends at the games were like, in the division we were in last year, you weren't technically allowed to buy alcohol in the stadiums, but the division down that we've gone into, they do sell alcohol at all the stadiums. And the lads were saying it last year, at least we can get a pint next year, which I thought was funny, every cloud and all that. But no, listen, what I'm trying to say here is in terms of investment in Spanish football clubs, this isn't like a little toy or something that David Villa owns. They will get that club up to Segunda, I think. I do, and then they'll probably have to sell it, for more investment. So there is, obviously opportunity here. And, some of you will know the manager invited me down of the club, as Rafa Benitez would say, club. He invited me down and a couple of others from the supporters club at the end of the season after we were relegated to thank us for our support. And he said that, being here, it's easy to support Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, whatever. He said, but for every one of you that come and watch us down the divisions, you're the equivalent of 1,000 fans, and we just want to say thank you. And they spelled out the plans, you know, for next season, like how serious we are to get back at the top, you know. So, but we have just sold my favourite player, Yaros, striker. He's gone to Valencia. He only broke into the first team in February, I think, maybe, from the youth academy, and he's already gone to Valencia's academy. Very, very good player. So be missing him next season. Anyway, that's it. I don't know. FSG obviously have some real interest in Spanish clubs at the moment. Michael Edwards must be seeing it because FSG don't know what the fuck's going on. Edwards must be tuned into something somewhere. Yeah, interesting. What do you think, guys, about it? Are you even interested in it? You must be, surely, because it does affect Liverpool. It does. Anyway, I'm not saying it affects the finances, but you know what I'm saying. All right, leave it with you. Anyway, there you are. There's the article. So, you know, FSG on the prowl. All right? Okay, guys, I'll leave it with you. If you found this video remotely interesting, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. If you want to support me and my channel, this is my full-time gig. Please hit the love heart under the video. It's the super thanks. It's like getting me a beer or a coffee, and it does help my channel, and it helps me. Was there something else I was going to tell you? Oh, yeah, and if you do that, I always give you a shout out in my morning briefings on my other channel, obviously. But something else I was going to tell you. I'm sure there was. Yeah, that's it. All right, I'll leave you to it. Speak to you in a bit.